What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker Podcast. My name is Nick Baker. Across from me, Shane Good.
What's gooch?
What's going on, man? How's your week been?
Not too bad. You know, just the normal grind, if you will. And yourself?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. What have you been playing, man?
All right, so as we know, Season 9, Fortnite came out. Been getting down on the Season 9 Fortnite as much as I could. Grinded my final challenges for Season 8. Mm-hmm. Going into the week, Season 9 dropped Wednesday.
Yeah.
Some major changes. They took out the pump.
They took out the pump.
The pump is gone.
So it's just the tack shotty now, or
they added a semi-automatic 10-round shotgun.
Crap!
It does no damage.
Dude, it does no damage.
The gun's shit.
Oh man, then I guess we don't have anything to worry about. I guess the pump, man, for the early going of that game was just dominant, and it's gone through so many changes. Now it's gone. It's crazy. You
can no longer you can't one tap. There's the only weapons in the game that can one tap now are basically snipers.
Yeah.
So and that's they did that, and then they added the drum gun back as well.
Oh, okay. So is that more meta now?
Yeah, basically meta right now is tactical shotgun, 2 drum guns, and some sort of either explosives or sniper. You could grab an infantry rifle, which is going to basically be, it's like a M1 Grand, 8 shots,
right,
100% accuracy every shot.
Sweet.
So
you've been doing good? You've been getting wins?
Yeah, I think I've gotten 4 wins out of like 10 games, which isn't terrible.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great in my opinion, man.
So
I've won maybe 4 or 5 games of Fortnite. So
I'm up to 200 wins. I'm up to like 199 wins. So I'll get my 200 tonight when I go home.
Yeah, professional, man. You're a professional. So alongside with some of the gun additions, what other types of tweaks do they have in that game now?
Well, as every new season, they drop new map, patches.
Right.
So now we've gotten into the 3 big map changes. There's other map changes, obviously, but the 3 big ones is they destroyed Tilted. For
finally
a week. Yeah, Tilted was destroyed for a week, and then they rebuilt it as Neo Tilted.
Oh, cool.
So now it's a futuristic Tilted. They destroyed retail, and they brought it back as like just a massive mall. Which it's a pretty cool complex. And then they destroyed the volcano. And now there's a science research facility in the center of the volcano.
That's on point.
Yes.
There's all kinds of supervillains that have used volcanoes as secret layers, so I'm sure they're ganging up for something like that.
100%.
I did see a promo image of the character. One of the characters, he has like a fire face and he hides it with a mask or something like that.
Yeah, he looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I imagine that he's probably the guy that's living in that volcano.
There's also a couple of like the skins. The skins are they're not my favorite this season. But there is a couple that are funny.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the banana from last season was fantastic.
Switch, man.
Hard to beat. But they have a chicken. There's a robot this season. It's like what was the robots that start with a G?
Oh, yeah, you got me, man.
Yeah, it's the Gundams. There we go.
Oh, Gundams. Yeah.
It's like it's like a Gundam robot with a chicken face.
That's interesting. Man, I might have to take a look.
It's the splash art for that whole season is priceless,
man.
But
the state of Fortnite seems to be pretty put together. I mean, they seem like they're still on track, and nothing's shaking them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they know what's up for sure. They're definitely they definitely are not stopping anytime soon. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. What have you been playing this week?
Oh, I'm still digging away at Final Fantasy 12. Yeah. I got a little bit further than that. I'm trying some optimal builds for certain characters, so I'm trying to really hash out that stuff. Just got to the second job class, but I've also been dipping into the Final Fantasy 15 episodic DLC that they came out with. I pushed it off until it was on sale this week, and I saw it and I was like, $7, I can't pass that up.
It's true.
So I've been dipping back into that, and man, it just goes to show how much I love this game, because man, it's so good, and the character driven plots and the little pieces of DLC just kind of fill in the gaps of what was originally there for the whole story. And I finished the episode Gladio, and that one was really awesome. You get to fight Gilgamesh. He's the blade master, and he sets you on all kinds of these trials, which then impart different abilities onto you, so then you can actually deal damage to him, because you fight him early on in the DLC, and you get your ass kicked, and he's like, all right, complete these challenges, come face me again. So you go do it and go through this whole dungeon, and it's really a hell of a lot of fun. And then once you get there, it's just epic. I really felt that one. I'm on the episode Prompto right now. It's not as good. I think it's filling in some gaps in his character for sure. But I can't wait to see what it ends with. And also they added Arnea's in there too, and she was always a really cool character that I wanted to know more about. And I still haven't gotten to Ignis, but I think Ignis is going to maybe be the best out of them. Gladio is really good, but I think Ignis is really going to be the best, because he had the most repercussions from that big battle in the middle of the game, where you kind of get split up, and he's scarred for life. He's practically blinded, spoilers alert.
I mean,
but if you haven't played the game by now, God. So with that said, we're gonna move on to the big topics of the week, and the first of the two biggest topics of the week are Sony State of Play, and the Sony State of Play went live yesterday. It's their second one, and I think they're really starting to shape up. They're really starting to put some stuff out there that's really interesting. The last one kind of didn't hit you with that like gut punch, but this one had a stinger at the end that we'll get to, and a
lot of
really
interesting games.
Excited. Yeah.
A lot of interesting games.
So the first one that they showed, how first of all they chimed with the beginning chime was a Final Fantasy VII chime, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, you're just gonna tease me like that? But anyway, we'll get to that later. And so they open up with that, and then they kind of bait and switch you, and they send you into Monster Hunter's new Iceborne expansion that's coming out in September. Looks pretty cool, and we both played Monster Hunter before. I got pretty deep into it. I think I got like Hunter rank 13. I'm probably a novice to anybody that's really listening. But
yeah.
Where did you get in Monster Hunter?
So I played. I didn't play this one as much as I played the other ones, to be 100% honest with you. The Monster Hunter World, it was a good game. But there was just a lot of other games that I was looking to play when this kind of came out. So I think I only got to like rank 10 or something like that. I do have a lot of experience with the other Monster Hunters, specifically the one on PSP. Played a lot of that.
Right.
I think that was Monster Hunter like 3, something like that.
Sounds right to me.
It was one of those. But I played a lot of that. So I don't know. What do you think? The whole winter kind of expansion is...
I mean, a lot of games have done this, like, almost put you into, like, a seasonal feel of a game.
Yeah.
And sometimes it really works. Like, I thought the Horizon Zero Dawn Frozen Wilds DLC was really cool. It changed the landscape of that game and gave you a new environment to explore. if this one does anything like that, obviously from the trailer it adds all kinds of new monsters, maybe some new gear. Well, I would hope.
I would imagine.
And as long as it like adds value to the game, especially this late in the game's life, I think it's definitely worth a look. It got me interested. There are a few monsters in there that look really challenging to fight, and
for sure.
The monsters were already challenging. I still haven't even beaten all of the ones in the base game, let alone any expansion. So maybe I'll climb back in after seeing this. But the next game that they showed was this may not be in order, but one of the next games that they showed in the State of Play was Riverbond, and it's a voxel art dungeon crawler, and it has all kinds of cameo appearances from characters like Shovel Knight and the kid from Bastion and the bullet gun.
I believe his name is just
Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah, I think his name is just Bullet,
which is awesome. And this game looks like a twist on like 3D Game Heroes and like maybe a Diablo-y kind of feel. You said something earlier.
What is it? I forgot the name of it.
Yeah. But anyway,
but it
looks like a lot of fun, and the 4-player co-op genre really could use an infusion.
Castle Crashers,
yeah.
That's what I knew it would come back to me.
Yeah, Castle Crashers was so good, and man, it's not quite the same like perspective, but it does have that.
It's got that feel, you know.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what they do, because I mean, primarily I play a lot of dungeon crawlers, a lot of RPGs and stuff like that on computer. It'd be interesting to see what the point of the game is.
Right.
Just because like
what the story elements are.
Yeah, is there story elements? Is that the grab, or is it the foreplay, the mechanics that you can do with the foreplay, or is that more of the grab, or is it just gonna be like your typical kind of dungeon crawler? There is the ability to have 4 people, but is it more focused on like one mechanic, or how well do they balance all their different mechanics? It'd be interesting to see.
It does look really interesting, and the art style is something that I think that they can like push the limits of hardware with. So like as far as like destructible environments and stuff, it looked like there were a lot of things going on screen, and that's really interesting when it comes from a game like that. Just simply because, man, there's so much going on, and you wonder if there's going to be like a little bit of slowdown on some of the maybe less powerful consoles like PS4 and Xbox One vanilla. But I mean, it looks cool. Anyway,
I mean, if it's anything, just as my closing, if it's anything like Shovel Knight, Enter the Gungeon, those two combinations that don't slow down on console.
Right. Well,
and they're super clean.
Right. Hopefully they have all their ducks in a row and things can run really smoothly. Like another great example I just thought of is the Swords of Ditto. It reminds me a lot of that game.
Yep.
And
for sure.
I bought that one a little while ago and tried it out, and it's pretty fun. I still haven't had many people to actually play with me because Shay is not down for it, but I'll eventually get through that one for sure. But anyway, so the next one I wanted to touch on, whether or not it was in a row or not in the actual State of Play, was the Away game that has you play as a sugar glider, or what it seems to mainly have you play as a sugar glider, and it's like a survival third-person-ish adventure game, it seems like. It's really strange. What do you think about that?
I mean, so first look, I was kind of like, what the hell am I watching? And then it immediately clicked to, like, simulators are really big right now. And it almost felt like I was watching a scene from Firewatch. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Firewatch. Got rave reviews. It was super huge a few years ago.
I mean, I never played it, but seemed like a pretty cool game. It's got overwhelming, like, I think it's like 92% positivity or something like that on Steam.
Yeah, everybody loved it, I heard. I also haven't played it, which maybe might be a problem. We might have to take that into consideration, maybe take a look. But yeah, it's a really interesting perspective on survival game. It reminds me of that. It's the Monkey Evolution game that's coming out soon from the minds of the first Assassin's Creed. They came out with. I can't remember. I think it's called Ancestors or something like that.
Sounds interesting.
But the premise of that one is that you start as like early ape man, and then you evolve into whatever comes afterwards, and it's similar in scope, I think, to this one, but this one's obviously a little bit more.
Seems very adventure.
Yeah, like maybe more like an Uncharted style, like linear adventure rather than kind of exploratory survival. Yeah,
for sure. It would definitely be interesting to see like how much of this world is really open in the sense of boundaries, you know? Do you have goals? Do you have something specific you have to do? I noticed in the trailer there's that scene where he like jumps off like a rock and like catches a bug in the air and he like starts dragging it away. Like, do you have to eat? Is there like a health bar, a hunger bar? I wonder, you know, kind of a little more about that.
They didn't show any of the HUD if there is one. I assume that there will be. They didn't show any of it this time, but it seems really early on anyway.
For sure.
The gameplay looks pretty alpha to me. But I guess we'll definitely see more as it develops. So the next one, Predator Hunting Grounds, is a 4-player squad game where you're pitted against the Predator, who's also controlled by another player, and it blends a style of stealth and kill and be killed combat, similar to the Friday the 13th game. That I think it's either the same developer or the similar team members came to this team to give some talent. But this, it was a rather short, I think it was like maybe a 15-20 second like little trailer.
Yeah, thing. It was super short. It even said this is an actual gameplay at the bottom of it, which is like...
So you know that this game is either super, super early on, or they're just kind of withholding things for E3. Because they did say it was coming out next year, so we'll see in what time frame that they actually announce that's coming out. But it does kind of harken back to the, like I said, the Friday the 13th game. I really had a lot of fun with that game, and playing as Jason, I can imagine playing as Predator, feeling really powerful, being able to like fly through the trees, all stealthed out, and really scare the shit out of the person squad. It gives me hope, you know, for this. Hopefully, the Predator aspects of it are really cool and not like, you know, played out and overdone, you know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, it reminds me a lot of what's the other Jason-like game? Days something. Not Days Gone.
No, Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight, thank you. Yep. And if it's anything like Dead by Daylight, I mean, obviously their catch is they create a bunch of new murderers, or like use existing murderers and then create abilities around them.
Right.
So I wonder if they'll like, you know, it starts with Predator, and then like down the road they get a DLC and it's like Alien as well. So like it's cool. The Alien versus Predator, except it's like just straight PvP.
I think that because they said that they're partnering really closely with Fox, that they could really do some cool stuff with it if Fox is willing to let them bend and break the rules a little bit. Alien would be a super cool addition. Like,
that'd be cool
if you could like have a map that's on the space station in space, and you have the 4-player squad. Like, oh man, that'd be super, super cool. But anyway, that's it. They don't really have a whole lot, like we said, about that one. We're kind of just speculating at this point, but
for sure.
It does look and sound like it's gonna be a pretty cool experience if everything goes right. So the next one. This one has been in the oven, I feel like, forever. I think I heard about this like 4 or 5 years ago now. It's the Medieval remake, the PS1 classic. Kind of takes the old school platform hack and slash and brings it forward into the modern age, or at least we hope it. From the gameplay, it looked like it's still pretty primitive to me. I don't really know too much about like the behind the scenes of the development of this game. Maybe it's like been bogged down a bit, but it's coming out the 25th of October this year. It looks all right. I might jump back in there, but I don't think I have this one on my radar for like a seriously exciting game. It just I don't think it's done what it takes to like get me to that excitement level.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like the Crash Bandicoot remake and the Spyro remake, those look like polished, really really nice. But this one seems like it's still got a little ways to go, and it's coming out so soon. So maybe they can still make some tweaks and have it come out of the oven ready to go.
I mean, it will definitely. I think it'll. The game doesn't look terrible. I think it feels like in the trailer that they didn't really change the controls. It almost feels like it looks like the camera is still like following up PS1 sprite.
right. And
kind of like
it's super far back and the character's real small, so it does like if you're into that like hardcore nostalgia, maybe that's what this is really targeting, like people that really want to have that feel of like old school controls and old school difficulty. But like I said, we haven't really gotten too much information on it, and we obviously haven't had our hands on it yet, so maybe it feels great and we're worried for nothing, but
it's possible.
At this point, it does seem like it's a little underbaked, and hopefully they can throw some polish on that before the release date this October.
Yeah, I mean, October it is definitely enough time for them to make a couple of adjustments. I mean, they might, you never know, they might blow something out of the water with just some adjustments, a different announcement, more gameplay trailer. Wouldn't it be interesting if they were just showing us like PlayStation 1 footage and then it just came out like, boom,
wow,
brand new remaster?
That would blow my mind, just for the fact that like I couldn't believe that a PS1 looked that good.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like, oh my god.
No way.
But,
maybe a PS1 remake.
Yeah, but part of me feels like they might be doing this remake just simply to like fill a gap before the PS5, like as far as like exclusivity goes. Like they have too few exclusives this year. I think that they really wanted to bolster their numbers there so that they're not constantly hearing like, where are those exclusives? But I mean, I think they quote unquote blew their load last year on their exclusives, and they're really just scraping around at the bottom of the barrel.
I mean, The Last of Us is gonna be.
Oh yeah, I mean the first that's another episode entirely.
It's true. that is an episode entirely.
So they shifted gears. To actually quote them, they said shifting gears, I believe, in the state of play, and they showed us this limited edition Days of Play console, gunmetal gray or something silver or whatever. It wasn't that impressive. It's just the standard.
No spec changes, anything.
Nothing really impressive about that. I was like, oh well, it's just another color, I guess, that'll eventually be released. Not special edition, I'm sure.
Yeah, I could spray paint my PS4 if I want to.
Exactly. Just throw some stickers on there. It's fine. We're pretty ghetto as it is. So, but that leads us to the biggest announcement, I think, that came from the Sony State of Play. And personally, I've been waiting for this for so long. I love this game so much. Final Fantasy VII Remake is re-announced, and the trailer looks amazing. The facial animations are glorious. The voice acting sounds great and is matched up to the lips perfectly, I think. The combat looks really cool. It's pretty baseline, like HUD and stuff like that, but I think that it's gonna blow us away when it finally comes out. And I think they still said that they're gonna have partitioned in episodes, so it'll be like part 1, part 2, part 3, so similar to how they had it on discs before.
That'd be good.
I would prefer them to do it all one big thing, but if they can't and they have to do it piece by piece to make it great, then I'm all for that. As long as it takes, honestly, at this point, just get this game into my hands, because, man, I've been waiting to play like an updated version of this game since I played the original. And I recently bought the original on Switch. I talked about that a few weeks back. I don't think it would be the same at all. It looks incredible, and the combat looks super action packed. And what are your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII?
I mean, I think it's going to be. I personally haven't played a lot of the Final Fantasies. Looking at this one and playing, like, I played through like the first disc maybe of Final Fantasy VII. That was PS1, right?
It was PS1, yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I borrowed it from my cousin. And he beat the shit out of me for borrowing it because I didn't tell him.
Nice.
But it was good. It was a lot of fun. And looking at this this remake, looking at the trailer and looking at the graphics and stuff like that, I mean, I guess the only real worry that I would throw out there, and it's kind of confirmed, would be that they're going to hold it off for this next console, especially where they're waiting for these numbers. I mean, but we had that little glimmer in the trailer. They said coming to PS4, was it?
Yeah, at the end, the narrator said that something along the lines of like coming soon to PS4 or something like that, or PS4 owners will be able to enjoy, or something like that phrasing that kind of gets you in the mindset of like, this is definitely going to come out before the end of the generation, which is supposedly supposed to be within the next year or so. But it also kind of harkens to me that maybe they'll extend the life of the PS4 into the PS5 life cycle like they did with PS3. I assumed that was going to be the case anyway, but now this is just like a more solid proof that I think that they're really going to try and push PS4 along with PS5, and that backwards compatibility is really going to be important.
Yep, well, I mean, as PS4 being, up there in sales, if you will, I mean, Sony's definitely shown before that they're willing to produce things as long as people are willing to make them, unlike EA with Skate 4. They're, as long as people are willing to give them money, they'll show up.
Right.
So I think people aren't ready for the PS4 to die, even with the PS5 right around the corner at this point.
I'm like Fry meaning it out right now. Like, I'm gonna give you all my money for this, I swear. Like season pass, expansions, give me all of it. I'll play this game until the end of my days. But anyway, so that was what closed out the state of play. Super exciting. Towards the tail end, there were a few weird, strange games in there, but I think at the end of the day, it was an improved state of play, and it makes you excited for what they're going to have around E3, maybe during or a little after, maybe a little bit before. But it is exciting to see them coming out pretty consistently, because the last one wasn't too long ago. Consistently putting out content to the fans that want to see these new games, and it gets you excited for lineups in the future. But anyway, so that closes out the Sony State of Play. We then had the Ghost Recon reveal yesterday. That's our second big topic, final big topic. The Ghost Recon Breakpoint was announced yesterday. It takes place in a fictional remote archipelago in the Pacific Ocean named Aurora. And you're kind of thrown into this island of like lush jungle and crazy scenery. Lighting is just outstanding. It seems like they really improved on the Ghost Recon Wildlands formula with some survival aspects and really more down-to-earth, hardcore gameplay, and the damage system seems like more punishing but also more rewarding. What did you grab from the reveal? We watched a little bit of it.
Well, I mean, definitely I grabbed the idea that, like, I mean, if you listened to even, like, the past 2 weeks of our podcast, I talk about several times that, like, I feel like no real games are grabbing a gun version of a harder core game, like something that has a little more difficulty to it.
Right.
And I mean, they talk about in the trailer, they talk about like you have to, like, if you play solo, like, you are playing solo. You don't get like AI squad mates to help you out. And watching the gunplay in the trailer, if that actually is kind of how it's going to play, I mean, the dude literally shot one AR bullet at somebody and it dropped him, and there was another point where he got shot by like 2 AR bullets and he basically dropped, which means like it makes cover way more important. It makes thinking and strategy just like way more specific. They talk about it's going to be a lot harder to take over camps even if you have an entire team, which I like that idea, just because like I like games that are difficult and that take a little more strategy than just like, I have a gun, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? So
it boosts my confidence in this game that they're not afraid to take those chances and be that hardcore. I think that Ubisoft has that ability just simply because they now have the Division out there, and that's more of like the casual, like Destiny 2 type game, whereas now they can go to the other side of the coin with Ghost Recon and bring that back to its similar to its roots, where it was really a bit slower pace and not as over the top, but also really, really cinematic and in its teamwork and co-op play. Because in Wildlands, their first trailers for that game really sold me on that game, just simply from the cinematic shots that you could take with your teammates, like configuring lineups, like I'll take 1, you take 2, you take 3.
Yeah.
And I guess in this new game, they emphasize that teamwork and vehicles and your weapon loadouts and what you do alongside, before, during, and after a mission all have consequences and benefits that allow this game to elevate beyond what Wildlands was. So I'm pretty excited. I think I'll take a look. It's coming out in early October, and I think that's a great time slot for it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As long as Call of Duty stays away from that spot. I think Call of Duty came out around that time last year.
I don't know the exact date, but it definitely was around that time.
We're still waiting for the announcement of the new Call of Duty. I think that's pretty soon. It might be on one of the next couple of weeks' podcasts. But yeah, this new Ghost Recon game looks really in depth, really, really fun survival, hardcore aspects, and I can't wait to see more from it and see what they really have to offer as far as vehicles. They said that the helicopters are much improved, which was one of the gripes I had with the last game. I played the demo and a little bit of the base game, and the flight wasn't. It was really touchy. It didn't really
feel very good.
Yeah, it didn't seem authentic in a way, and authentic flight in games, it's really hard to like get everything authentic without it feeling too hard to control or not video gamey enough. So hopefully they kind of balance that all out really, really well and come out with a product that just blows your socks off.
That'd be good. I mean, just to touch on it as well, they're still keeping PvP in the world, and just as like as a person who plays battle royales, everybody's doing battle royales. There's a piece of me that kind of wonders. I mean, secluded island on its own. They're keeping PvP. There's going to be a lot of environments.
I think they're definitely lining things up for a battle royale. Which, I mean, if it's a battle royale with this kind of like serious hardcore tone, it could really, really be a cool shift from the Apexes and the Fortnites of the world.
For sure.
I think that Battlefield 5 really tried to do a little bit more grounded of a battle royale game with Firestorm. I think they succeeded in making it more like a Battlegrounds type deal rather than like an arcadey Apex. But I think that this can really bring like that third person, slow pace, like
a little more strategy.
Yeah, just
100%,
like super calculated movements, and I think that plays in this game as far as like duos and squads could be really cool.
Yeah, for sure, and, it would be dope.
So
as long as they keep the loot from cluttering the ground, I guess I can be happy about it.
I said last week that I was going to take a look at that. I didn't get a chance to actually get my hands back on Battlefield 5, but I still haven't checked out whether or not they fixed that looting, but man, that's bad. If they can just consolidate all that stuff into like a pack, it just make more sense, way more sense.
It'd be cool if you could drop like your entire pack for somebody else's entire pack, like in just like a quick looting situation,
right?
Where you could grab like the box that they drop or something like that, and you could carry it away with like the disadvantage of only being able to use like a sidearm or something like that.
It would
just
be
something
really cool, and maybe that's something that Ghost Recon can take into consideration. They can look at all these other battle royale games, pick and choose if that's what they really want to do, or maybe they say they make their own type of maybe slower paced battle royale where there's fewer players on a smaller map, and it's really gritty, and like you have to scrounge for even a few bullets, and like it's either make or break it when you get into those confrontations. I think there's a lot of ways that they could go to make it really cool, but I think that was pretty much all that they had in store. There's one thing I wanted to mention about it because we talked about similar things last week. They said that it's coming out on the Epic Store and not Steam.
Yes.
So it's exclusive on PC on the Epic Store. Another one bites the dust as far as I know. I think this is a trend we're going to see from Ubisoft. I think they're going to start with Epic Store and then maybe move their things over to Steam, if at all.
Where they've kind of got their own launcher anyways. Like where we see with their other, not Rainbow Six Siege, the one that just came out.
Division,
thank you. I don't know how I forgot that.
No, yeah, it's
so many games. The Division 2, where when you launch with the Epic, like you launch in Epic, but it brings you to their launcher. So you have to have their launcher downloaded anyways.
Right.
So it's kind of like you buy it here, it also gets purchased there, and then you launch it here, but it actually gets played over there. So it's kind of it's a weird grounds.
Right. I think it's a slippery transition for sure.
Yeah.
To the Epic Store. Maybe eventually they'll have more of those integrated launchers. I don't know exactly how that works too much, just because I'm not a primary PC guy. You're more of that vein. But I think that the longer that it is out there and the more experience that they get with different games, I think that they might be able to work with developers a bit more in order to make that process a little smoother.
Well, I tell you right now, Epic Games does not charge nearly as much as Steam does to have their games on the platform. Steam, the people that put games on the platform, I don't know about AAAs, but the indies, they take like 30 or 40 flat from their profit.
Wow.
So they take a lot just to have their game on the platform.
That's insane.
So, and I know Epic was kind of undercutting for indie companies. I think they were only charging like 15%, which is like significantly less, and they've got so much traffic from Fortnite, and anything that goes on that home screen, as I said before, it's couple million people see that in a week. Easy. So
it's a beautiful thing, man. if you can get on that front page of the Epic Store, I think you're gonna do well.
For sure.
But so that closes out the big topics of the week. There's one last thing I wanted to mention before we close things up. It's the big game. Single big game that's coming out. I kind of looked around. There's not too many like big AAA things. There's obviously a few indie things that come out here and there for like the Switch or whatever. But we don't really need to list all those off. The one big one that I thought that people would be interested in this week is Rage 2, Bethesda's new installment in the Rage series. It looks like it vastly improves on the old game in new and exciting ways, and the style of this game just screams to me like steampunky, like poppy colors. Like it just seems like a real blast, and it's unfortunate that Borderlands 3 kind of stole its thunder a few weeks ago.
For sure.
It kind of had a little bit more, a few more drops of like some trailers here and there, but they didn't really get the views that I think Borderlands 3 got when they revealed.
Well, Borderlands 3 is...
They've been along a lot longer, and they've been doing the looter shooter game, I think, for long enough to get a good fan base going. But
for sure,
Rage 2, man, it looks really nice. The graphics are impressive. It looks like it runs really smoothly. I've seen some PC gameplay of it, and man, the things that they're able to do with this game makes me question what the hell happened with like a Fallout 4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to run in that direction specifically for it, but I definitely see what you're talking about graphically wise.
We could have run in the Fallout 76 direction.
You're right.
I figured that was too low of a blow. So, what have you seen? What do you think of Rage?
I mean, I've seen a couple of the trailers. Obviously, Borderlands 3 stole a lot of the thunder for myself, even because I'm a big Borderlands fan. It looks good. I don't know if I will pick it up, as so busy with just so many different other games, but it looks very good. It reminds me of a much more like a much more vibrant would be a good word for it. Yeah. Just Cause 3. Kind of that like that gist of like massive amounts of destruction.
And like a ton of different things going on on screen, just like so many enemies around you, and the gameplay that I did see shows you using all these really cool, like almost telekinetic abilities and these powers. So that's really interesting to. I think that would be really interesting. I mean, to get into and like really dissect all that, maybe skill trees or like evolving powers. Maybe you can do like a slam that maybe gets bigger. Like I don't know. It seems like there's a lot there to discover. Like you said, it's I think it's gonna slip right under my radar for now. I might throw it in the backlog of things to pick up if the reviews come out good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Bethesda did a solid enough job with like Doom and Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein 3 came out not too long ago.
Yeah. So I think they have my trust as far as this goes for now. I mean, Fallout 76 was a bump in the road, but I know these guys. I know what they're capable of, so I'm not too down on them yet. And
for sure.
So hopefully this really gets the love that it deserves, whether it be good or bad.
For sure.
So I think that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in again. We're still doing it. I think week 4 now.
Week 4, baby.
Finally hit our month. What any thoughts on the last few weeks? How we've been doing? Like,
I mean, I don't know. It's all fun and games, man. It's all fun and games. Literally. It
is all fun and games. Well, we appreciate all the support that we've gotten from our friends. All the views. Not too many. I think we're just scraping under 300. I hope.
Well, I mean, Shay was.
Yeah. She helped us out quite a lot, but. I mean, we're just so appreciative for the support that we do get. If you want to share, comment, subscribe, any of that, the rigmarole, hit that bell or whatever. Just come back next week and listen to us fools.
We'll be here.
Yeah. Till next week. Peace.
Peace.